is up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
I'm doing okay if I can figure out what's going on my audio.
Give us a
You
whistle.
audio, me video.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna get a new mic. Maybe a new camera too. I don't know.
Dan says audio in the chat.
Yeah.
So
I
what's
got it.
everybody up-
I was
what's
able to
everybody up
work Dan a couple times this weekend. Got him in the log finally.
Yeah, I think I worked him a couple 20. Yeah, he's in my log quite a bit this weekend. And when I say this weekend, I mean ever since Thursday.
If Eagle One did make mics, they probably would be great, Dan.
Dan is fun and games. Oh, I see Mike's trying to get his video straightened out. Oh, so what you guys been up to?
Oh, not much for me. I had the club activation today, and it was probably one of the best activations I've ever done because, I was at the park, I was set up, and then this YL comes over, and she's like, "Hey, I'm part of the club. I've never done POTA. I haven't really done much HF either." And I was like, "Well, today's your lucky day, because we got plenty of POTA to go around." So she ended up getting on the air, and she did her first POTA activation. She was only a technician, but 10 meters was open, so she was able to use my radio on 10 meters, and she did use her own call sign and everything, and she basically worked, I think, only 2 US stations. Everything else was DX. And there's a member of my club who's in Malawi. So on her first activation, she got Malawi in her logs, and she got, stations from 3 continents on her first activation for POTA. So I don't think she could have got it much better.
Awesome. Sideband or FTA?
Sideband.
Nice.
Yeah, so I helped her get all set up and everything. So it was KI7UYT or TY, but yeah, she's a YL in my club. She has her tech license, so we got her on the air and got her first activation in.
Dude, that's
So
awesome.
that's why I
awesome,
say it's
dude.
one of the best activations I've done. Every
job,
time I
man.
get
Good
a new person activating.
Absolutely. There's nothing like getting new people interested in radio and helping the youth stay interested in radio.
Yeah, I did hear Mike was pretty busy hunting over the weekend. I heard him make a couple contacts to some people I was hunting today.
Yeah.
Not today, yesterday.
Yep. I tried doing some of them, but yeah, it was a busy weekend per se. Did you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sounded good. Looking good too.
It was definitely an interesting weekend. I got my first ever gangster jammer.
Oh yeah.
And I also got my first ever DX lid, we'll say. I'll be nice and say lid. So yeah.
I got 3 new DXCCs this week.
Nice.
Palau, Guinea, and Equatorial Guinea, and Iran. 4, I guess.
Iran, really?
Yeah. I thought I already had it, and all of a sudden it popped up on my LOTW, and I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I worked a DX POTA park to park today. I was pretty surprised. It was some guy in the Netherlands. So I was
Nice.
pretty pleased about that. I was like, especially on 10 meters too. So I was really pleased that I was able to get another DX POTA in the log. But I tell you what, like, people who aren't activating on 10 meters are missing out. Because, like, I made 25 contacts on 10 meters, and maybe 5 of them were in the United States.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, 10 meters has been pretty busy.
yeah, definitely get on 10 meters because the European stations are hunting POTA.
I wish 6 meters would get busy.
Hey, it's been open in Japan, so there's
Yeah.
hope yet. It was almost up to, like, I was looking at the
Delta India.
MUF
He's
chart, and I was looking at the MUF chart yesterday, and it was almost up to 2 meters in Japan. So
nice. CU3 Delta
about
India.
you?
He's kind of my Elmer.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, Terry, that's what I need. I need the 6.
There's very active
I
ham radio operator on CW from here.
it's awesome.
So be on the lookout
guess
for him.
that's a different 6-pack that I'm.
CU3 Alpha Alpha.
So I'm portable about when I'm activating. If I'm in good phone signal, laying my phone down there beside the radio and staying in my Discord. And it was really funny because Terry was trying to get through my pileup this weekend. He's like, I had to wait for the Spanish pileup to finish because I had like 3 straight Spain calls.
Yeah. Yeah, the DX has been amazing.
They're very
And
active in Spanish. Don't get me wrong.
The beginning of this week, I actually like did the RIDI contest to see what it was about. I only got like 10 contacts because I just wanted to try it, but it's kind of cool. You know,
I don't think I've ever done RIDI.
yeah. I mean, it's just hitting a button on the computer. So it's pretty much like FT8.
Yeah,
but
nowadays
easier.
it is. It used to be like a whole fancy machine back in the day.
I have never
Teletype.
done RIDI.
Yeah.
I've never done RIDI.
RIDI's kind of fun because you could like kind of do keyboard to keyboard.
Well, that's the thing. The protocol with RIDI is kind of more like CW, isn't it?
Kind of, sort of.
Like the responses and everything.
Yeah.
That's
Kinda,
what threw
sorta.
me off. I can do RIDI, but that kind of threw me off because I'm trying to follow along and seeing what the exchange is. And
Oh man, Dan's causing problems in the chat.
RIDI, yeah.
I tried to work.
Pat is
Dan
from
was
DC.
doing a.
go ahead, Mike.
Dan was doing a rover today, and I think I worked him on his first or second, and he's like, "Oh, don't forget, I'll be." I went to sleep. I'm sorry. I got a 1:30 late shift, work late shift, and I had to go to sleep. Dan, sorry I didn't get the rest of your rover.
Who was the father and son that did the 30 Park Road this weekend?
30 Park Road. Wow.
No idea.
I saw it in Discord, but I
I
wasn't sure.
saw
who
it in
that was.
Discord too, but I don't know who they were.
Wasn't me. I got stuff to do, man. And the weather was terrible this weekend here.
Oh, I know, dude. Like
Saturday wasn't too bad.
Oh, it wasn't too bad, no. But
it was here.
it was raining a bit here on Saturday.
Like every single antenna up and antenna down, I got soaked Saturday and Sunday.
Today I had trouble keeping my antenna on the ground. Like I had to get my
Oh, with the
SLA
wind.
battery and like counterweight it with my battery. It worked. I thought at one point the whip was gonna snap. The wind was that bad. I was like, ooh, don't get any stronger. all this hurricane remnants rolling through.
Yeah, one of the antennas at the house kind of got mangled up the other day. Had to refix it.
See, my end fed in my backyard is
Yeah.
still hanging out strong. Yeah, Kyle's right. It was very
I got
windy.
a problem with my.
You got a problem with what?
I got an antenna down, so I need to fix to bring it down and fix it. 30-meter, 17 and 12. 30 meters are gone. It's gone. One of the wires broke off,
Uh-oh.
so I only have 3 on one side and 2 on the other.
What kind of antenna?
Homebrew for you?
Oh, there you go.
It's we call him a whisker, cat's whisker, because it's like a dipole, but it has 3 bands on it. I don't know what you call it in English.
Fan
sorry.
dipole.
Oh, a fan dipole. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. There you go. Sorry.
No,
we call
yeah.
it whiskers. It's a fan
I'm
dipole.
glad
You're
that-
right. You're absolutely right.
I'm going to have to start messing with people over here in the States. Like, oh, you got a cat whisker.
You got one of them whisker antennas yet?
That's what we call them in Portugal. I'm sorry.
Hey, man. We could
it
put
works.
some fan dipoles together, slap a whisker antenna on it, and start.
What do you what do you guys call lids in Portugal?
Mike
Idiots.
froze. Oh, idiots.
Idiots.
I want to build one of those
Idiota.
Rybakov antennas. Have you guys heard about those?
No.
And listen. There's 2 Spanish guys. They literally came in right on top of me, and they could hear me because they started mocking me when I would give my signal reports, and they just sit there and stayed there. And I'm like, I'm not moving. We'll do this. You know, they had power, but I was still getting my contacts, and it got crazy. Matter of fact, Kyle contacted me, and I told Kyle, I was like, I'm going to give your
The chat.
call sign to you normal because the other guys were probably giving it to you in Spanish.
I saw a lot of that this weekend. Just because I'm so far away, I can hear both. Well, not so far away, but I mean, I can hear Europe and the States. Into the States,
Oh,
right? So I could
like
hear
your
Europe on the same
cutting in
frequency
and
as
out.
activators. Dang it, son of a bitch. Better now?
Yes.
audio is, yeah.
Yes. So what I was saying is I reject my antenna because it's a beam and it's headed to the States or turned to the States. It rejects a lot of Europe, but I can still hear Europe in the background at the same time as activators. So I hear a lot of, same frequency people that I'm sure the guys in the States can't hear, but I'll hear Europeans. And then when I talk, they're like, Charlie 93 Hotel Yankee? And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you. I'm talking to someone else. So yeah, that happens a lot.
That's a interesting looking
Funny.
antenna there, Pat.
Yeah. It looks like a fun little homebrew project.
It was really funny though because so Echo Alpha 4 Tango Lima was calling me, and the 2 Spanish guys kept trying to contact him back, and he was ignoring them talking to me, and they were getting mad.
Looks like an inverted L.
Well, you don't have to make it as an inverted L. You can just make the vertical portion, and the vertical portion will do 40 to 6. And if you add the L length, then you get 80 to 36.
Okay.
But I don't know, people that use this say they have like a lot of luck on it. Like it tunes up really well. And like I don't know, I think it'd be a nice little project to do.
Okay.
4 to 1 would be easy enough to build. And I don't know, I don't remember what it said you need for like radials, but Yeah. Well, this guy says he used 26-foot ground mounted Oh no, he used six 16-foot radios.
Okay.
So it's not very big.
I think that I could do. I've done that for a 160-meter loop, and I didn't use any radials. I just hooked it up to the tower ground and just brought it up. So that could be interesting to build and just hook it up straight to ground instead of radials. But then my whole tower would be the ground, so it'd basically be like a ground going up the same as the driven element. So I know it worked for 160,
Mhm.
and they do that a lot. So I don't know. Could be interesting. I'll look at it too, Pat.
I get
Yeah.
lost. I get lost when it comes to radios. I don't never know what to use because I never use them.
There's everybody does so many different things with radials. Some people just put the radials at the end. Some people ground the end of their radials. Essentially,
Uh,
it's supposed to be a counterpoise to the radiating element of the antenna.
yeah. I mean, basically,
Yeah.
it helps uh get your signal out better.
And it mitigates like RF coming back to your radio.
I
Like,
get, I get all that, but I'm saying, like, all right, for example, the Wolf River coils, they say you should use three 33-foot radials. That's what the company says. What's the
True.
difference in taking those three 30-foot, 3-foot radials and making three bundles of three 11-foot radials? It's the same amount of wire on the ground.
True.
Yeah, but it won't
I
be
use
frequency length. It won't be harmonic
yeah.
I use six 33
because they're
foot
supposed to
radials
be
for my
like they should be like to to the frequency you're using. I might be wrong,
You basically got to think
but
of
if
it
you want
like
it
the
to work better,
radios. The radio signal is going to go down onto the radios, and instead of going into the ground, it's going to bounce off the radio, right? So if you shorten it, what's going to happen is it's going to go down the ground. It's just going to dissipate. But if you have long radios at a quarter wavelength, it'll actually bounce off of the radios and go back up into the atmosphere, and that's how you get the varying skip.
yeah.
Colin
And
said,
fed half
Col-
wire is supposed to have a counter, and nobody uses.
Well, that's up for debate.
I use it on my end fed.
There you go. Better, and it's a matter of trying that out. I don't use it either. Don't get me wrong, uh, but apparently it does help with reception and RFI coming back into your rig, into your station, if you're not using a one-to-one choke.
Yes.
Well, if you have good grounding, you shouldn't need a counterpoise, though. In fact,
There's always RFI. RFI. There's always,
Is,
even
yeah,
if you have the
there's
best
is
a little
ground,
bit.
is counterpoise the same as grounding
and
though?
I should. It won't be
No.
because it won't be a
It shouldn't be.
wavelength. You're supposed to use something as a wavelength to help
Yeah.
with your reception and transmission. I mean, it works
I've
either way,
always
but if it would be better if it's wavelengths, like half
I've
wavelengths and
always
quarter
thought of
wavelengths.
radials as a dipole. You've got one side the
Yes,
radiating element, you've got the other side as the counterpoise.
yes.
And when you go
Now,
vertical, you add more radials
yeah, yeah,
because it's
yeah,
not opposite like the dipole is.
all right,
yeah. You're right.
this
It's
sounds like a
it's to
test.
build a ground plane.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to test this because I think that three bundles of 11 will work just as good as the three 33.
Hmm.
I'm going to test it. I'm going to test
Yeah,
it.
that's all. That's what Ham Radio is testing. Give it a whirl. If it's better.
You know what I
And
found to
what
be
works for
even
certain
better?
people won't work for other people.
I got rid of my radials for my Wolf River coil and started using them on my end fed because I mounted the bracket for the Wolf River coil on the back of the truck
You
And
don't
use
need
the
them there.
truck as a radio.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why people don't understand the magic of my antenna. It's my vehicle, and it's the
It's the ground
50
plane.
foot,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it's the 50-foot piece of coax that I use.
It's a
If I
big
use
chunk
Yes,
of metal.
because
if I use 25 foot, I will not get as good signal.
that's your coax cable should be in wavelengths as well. And if you make it for 20 meters, it'll be harmonic on 40 and 10 and so forth. You know, the fourth harmonic and the whatever harmonics. Yes, cable length is very important. Contrary to what people will, it'll work either way, but it'll work better if it's in wave. But the problem is, see, if you're using a multi-band antenna, to what wavelength do you cut your radios? You know, some
What
people swear by they'll have like 3 pairs for 10 meters length and more for 20 and so forth. You know,
I'm going to tell you that when I used to use the Wolf River coils, I used a 333 fit that they
stretched out.
gave me, and I used to activate that antenna on every single band. So I don't
Yeah,
think they got
Gary,
a.
stretch
don't
that
think-
out, Gary. And then Colin says, Colin looked into it, and it's more about the amount of copper on the ground, not necessarily length.
Yes, but like what I'm trying to say though is like you could have 3 feet of like just say a solid plate, right? Or if you got the 11 feet, then it would be like better basically. The more is better. Like more and longer is better up to a point. Then you get diminishing returns after that.
It just
Like if you
it's all
take
about making a better
33
ground plane.
if you take a 33-foot section and replace that with 3 11-foot sections, that's okay. But it'd be better if you had 3 33-foot sections.
Well, it'd be better if you had even more than 3.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you had like
I noticed a big
12, you'd have a
improvement.
lot more. Yeah.
I noticed a big improvement in my Wolf River coil when I went from 3 30-foots to 6 33-foots.
Yep. Yep, because the signal has more places to reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And if I could have cut it to a wavelength of 160, not that I can hit 160 with the Wolf River coil, I would think that.
But then
80
you
at
go into
least.
the diminishing law of return. You can do 1,000 radios, but you get to a certain point, but that it's diminishing
Yeah.
law of return. I mean,
This is,
more is better, but it gets to a point
There's-
where you really don't get an advantage for doing more.
see, this,
Yeah.
this is exactly why I switched to the Eagle One to start with, because taking an antenna out and setting out the radials and all this stuff takes forever. Just like I love in-fed half waves, and resonant in-fed half waves. Will they do better than the Eagle One on what you're using them for? Yeah, but setting them up on a road or when you're doing quick parks, it's not worth it. The return is not worth it. I can literally set my Eagle One up. I can probably set my Eagle One up like if you keep your ham stick in the back of your car and have to screw it in, I can almost get my Eagle One up that fast. And I can be gone by the time I just set up the in-fed and are getting ready to get started. It's about what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like the other day when I activated with Jason Johnson and I knew I was going to be there for a while, I set up the in-fed halfway. But I knew I was going to be there for a while. The other 3 parks that I did before him, I threw up the Eagle One, got my contacts and got out. It's that's why all the antennas, yeah, there's some great antennas out there, and you're talking about more radios. Yeah, maybe for something at the house. I don't want to do that in the field. Takes too long.
Well, it's about finding an efficient way to do it too, though. Like
Yeah,
I
definitely.
saw, I forgot who had a video,
Kind of like
but
this.
they had like these quick connect radials where like they just kept them in a little roll, and you just rolled them out, and then you just clipped it onto the base of the antenna, and you're good to go.
That's kind of how I want to do the 333-foot ones. I want to run them all into a power pole and then have a power pole connected to
Yeah.
the base and just clip them. But you still got to spread them out, and they get tangled up. I really want to see Curtis's way of doing it because Curtis says he can throw his out like a frisbee. And if I do that, it's just going to be a wad of wire. Just
What I think would be good, and there it's kind of like an idea is 3D design and 3D print a like a spool, but it's like there's like one spool and then there's another spool on top and it's small and you could just roll the radials up and this one kind of long spool, but it has like individual spools and you could just roll it out that way. Like that'd be a really easy thing to 3D design and 3D print.
Kind of like a frisbee with 3 different grooves on the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, here we go. What?
Subterranean radials.
It's no
There you
good.
The
go.
mole people.
That's
Attacking
what
the mole
buried
people. That
chicken
was a
wire
great
in your
movie.
yard. There's people that
I've seen
do that.
people. I've seen people bury car radiators and all this stuff to get
Yep.
better ground.
Yep.
So
Like if I ever take out this fence, I'm gonna bury it in my yard because my whole fence is chicken wire and it's like falling apart. I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna put that in the ground. There you go. I'm gonna have the best ground plane in the neighborhood.
There you go.
I also have a giant lightning magnet. That's all right.
as long as it goes to the ground.
Yep.
Put one
All
of
that
them,
metal in the all
old
that
school
metal in the
lightning
ground will
rod.
absorb it. Yeah.
Get one of them old school lightning rods and put on the roof.
Well, that's what you have a tower for, a lightning rod.
If I want to put up one of those lightning rod batteries. That'd be pretty fun.
So I bought a new radio today. I bought a Go box already full of Zygo, the 5105, and a 3S LiPo battery, an antenna, a wall wart, and just a bunch of stuff. So, and on inside a Pelican case. So pretty good deal. It was from another Portuguese ham radio, and he was selling it pretty cheap. So I thought, screw it. I'll get a 5-watt QRP radio with a tuner built in. So
Oh, that's even better.
let's see if that works. Yeah, it does have a built-in tuner. Yep. Yeah, small package. It'll be my emergency radio because Daddy don't do no 5 watts on SSB.
I wonder if it's the same tuner that's in the G90.
Probably.
What?
Probably. Figures if it's the same brand, it figures they'd use the same design.
Which
But
radio?
it's not good.
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
do 5100 and the G90.
No, the
It's amazing.
5105.
Oh, 5105.
The X 5105 and the
I
G9.
don't
They
think it
should
has
be the same.
one. I don't know.
I've heard really good things about the tuner though, from the reviews I saw.
I have two.
Listen, if it's about 20-1, the G90 will tune it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I have an even better tuner than that. I have the MFJ. I want to say the 991 or 891, something like that, or 981. It supposedly tunes 32-1.
Well, it's MFJ though. So
No, but it's an amazing. Don't get me wrong. I know makers of fine junk, but it is an amazing tuner with 891. I love that tuner, and it'll work on for every band. You just need to set it up for different brands: Alincos, Kenwoods, Icoms, Jesus, anything. It'll take everything as long as you
Listen,
set it up for that.
listen, I'm going to debate you on this because MFJ makes good tuners. Yes, sometimes a wire might come loose or something might come loose and you might have to go in there and tighten it back up or something like that. But I'm telling you, the very first antenna tuner I ever had, which was my dad's, it got fried when my finals got fried on the 991A through that power surge. And I got another one, and it worked fine until the YouTubers got a hold of it down in Dayton, and I don't know what they did, which it's fixed now too, but they messed it up. They messed it up good. I ain't gonna lie, they messed it up good. Why they were even fooling with the tuner, I don't know, because I had it set, like 1.2 to 1. But anyway, so when that one messed up in Dayton, and I got back to the house, I looked at that old one that I had sitting there, because it was dad's. I didn't get rid of it, and I just picked it up and I was like, "Why don't you work anymore?" And I just smacked it really hard, and I set it back, on the shelf. And
fixed it.
a few days later, I was like, I'm gonna hook this thing up. And I hooked it up, and I've used it ever since.
Nice.
One good smack, and it was fixed. And I'll tell you,
Precursive maintenance.
when it got fried, so you know how the needles go like this, when they're tuning or whatever, they were doing this. But it works now.
Good. I'm telling you, I love that little auto tuner. Better than LDJ or whatever you want. I've had LDJs and this little tuner with a 891 was, I mean, you could tune a washing machine. I'll tell you what. It was unbelievable.
Again, my antenna says it'll do 10 to 80 with a tuner. I've tuned 6 to 160 with an MFJ antenna tuner. Now I don't use an automatic one. I use a manual tuner.
Yeah.
I do have an LDG automatic one, and it won't tune all the stuff that MFJ.
And it's slow. It's so slow. They're so slow. It's unbelievable.
I've never had an issue with my LDG.
Wait until you use an MFJ one. Those things are. Wait. Let me try to get up from here. I actually built my own. Where is it? Right there. I don't know. Have I shown you guys this one?
No.
Yeah.
This is a little Chinese one. And it's a do-it-yourself kit. Okay, with a screen, and this thing, it's like $20, and you build it yourself. And this thing will tune quick, and it's 100 watts, and it'll work fine. I'll crack it open for you guys to watch it to see the inside. It's a do-it-yourself kit. You do need to build your own toroids and all that, but it's a fun little weekend project. Let me crack it open for you guys to see the inside of this thing. And you can't go wrong with $20 to $30 for a tuner that tunes 100 watts. Here, so.
Oh, sweet.
And it's fast. It's pretty fast. All you have to do is it's a little soldering, a little something, but it works like a treat, I'll tell you. And everything comes in the kit. All you have to do is solder the relays, and you have to build your own coils. But it's easy. It's very easy.
Does it pull its power from the radio?
No. You do need to put in 12 volts.
Okay.
But it's auto sensing. You can have it on auto, and when you change frequencies, it will tune automatically.
Nice.
And you can bypass it and everything.
You got a link for it? You can put it. You can put.
Yeah. I'll look for it. Yeah, no worries. I got you. Let me googly. Let me googly.
I know I've looked these up in the past too.
Kyle said he stepped away. What tuner is that? And, Mike's going to pull the
It's
link
a
up,
do-it-yourself.
Kyle, and
Do
it's
it
a
yourself tuner.
DIY auto tuner for 100 watts.
Uh-oh, pee-pee man in the house.
Uh-oh.
Everybody talk real quiet now for QRP.
You could probably find it cheaper, but
Yeah, I'm about to say on AliExpress they're like $20. You can.
Yeah.
Looks like you can get them
you know,
assembled.
there's an AT,
for like,
there's an AT 1000.
looks like you can
Man,
get
that
it
takes the fun
assembled
out of
for
it.
like 40
They do
bucks.
make a QRP. Yeah. There is an ATU 10 for 10 watts for QRP. And they do make an ATU 500, but it's not in kit form. You need to buy it fully built. Just look around. Just look for ATU-100 and find a cheap one that works for you. AliExpress is fine. I think I did order mine from AliExpress. Yeah, I went with the one. This one's a green board. Just they're all the same. They're all based on designed by November 7 Delta Delta Charlie, and they all work. And they do make a 1,000-watt version, but I think the only guys that make the 1,000 version are Russians, so they're out of the bag now. But even the case is 3D printed, guys. Look, it's just a 3D printed box. You can look it up on Thingiverse, and you can just pop it on, and it works. And it's a cheap tuner. Don't get me wrong, but I've used it and it works. It's just, of course, having other tuners. This was just a fun weekend project. It was just something to do on the weekend, and it took me about a couple of hours, maybe a little longer, to build. And wham bam, thank you, man. If you prefer putting BNCs in the back, do whatever you got to do, whatever works for you. But it's fast. I'll tell you something. It is very fast. Very fast. Faster than any LDG I've used. And it's Chinese.
The link I just put in the chat is it looks like the same one on Amazon. So $36.80 on Amazon.
There you go. And like I said, they're pretty easy to build. The hardest thing is just winding those toroids. But once you wind a couple of them, they're easy.
Yeah.
But look around on Amazon. That one doesn't come with the case. You'd have to make your own case for that.
Yeah.
David,
Minimum
David's
watts to
asking-
tune, I think it's like 10 watts. 10 watts is the minimum. The QRP version, which is the ATU 10, which they actually make a pretty cool version already with a built-in battery and everything, so you don't have to hook it up, is it's pretty cool. And that tunes with a minimum of 1 watt, I think, or something like that. So, but yeah, definitely 10 watts is 10, 15 watts is the minimum for it to tune.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean they're fun little projects to build. This was my latest AliExpress buy. It's also kit. It does come in a kit form. Let me see if I can. It does come in a kit form, and it's just basically the same as the FH2. No, that won't work. The FH2 from Yaesu, but just a neat little package. Everything you see comes in the kit. No 3D printing necessary, and works a treat for CW messaging, voice messaging. You just click, and it plays your audio. Even comes with the little cable to hook up to your radio. Of course, this is for Yaesu. So I order these little kits and I build them just for fun, something to do while there aren't any Atnos for me on the POTA page.
Cool.
Yeah, I know there is mods you can do to this to make work QRP, but I've never done them. But I think if you look on the web, there might be people explaining how to turn these into QRP ones. I don't know. I've never done that, but it's a pretty fun project to build. 3D printed, put some feet on it, and take it anywhere. 100 watts. I've made 11 of them. Yeah, they're fun to build, and you can, sell them to those electronically inept people. Buy them for $20, sell them for 50.
Is yours a certain
Make good
brand?
stocking stuffers.
Is yours a certain brand? Because I'm seeing different ones.
No, I just bought the cheapest one I could find off of. It was either eBay or AliExpress. I believe I bought it off of AliExpress. Just make sure it comes with the OLED screen, and they'll work. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, the worst thing about it is the toroids. You have to wind, and if you're not using toroids, it can be a hassle. Remember, you count the wire inside the toroid, not outside, and you should be fine. Sometimes you'll wind it wrong. Just unwind it and start over, and just make sure the instructions Chinese. Everybody's googling ATU 100s.
But
James just put the same link up that I did.
yeah, I put the same link.
All you need, you need the chip reader and change the firmware from 1 watt to 10 watt. Yeah, but then with the winding on the binoculars in the back, will it be sensitive to 1 watt, Andy? That's the only thing. But I remember something about you need to wind the binoculars in the back, the RF sensing part of it, a little different. And I didn't want to mess with it. It was built already, so that's what I remember off the cuff.
I did put the same link, Hayden, but it's actually through my affiliate program. So
Oh, okay.
I'll get a little.
You'll have to.
I'll
You'll have
get
to
I'll
educate
get
me on
pennies
that.
on your dollar.
Buy it
The
up. Just put it in. That'll be better.
Yeah, the second link I put in was for the case, so you might want to look the case kit up too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Let's see.
just find a friend with a 3D printer and pay him like a couple of bucks, because it isn't much more than a couple of bucks of filament,
If
And I'm
that.
sure everybody's got a friend with a 3D print. Yeah, it'll be like 50 cents of filament. So find a friend or go to your local maker space and ask them to pay a couple of bucks. It'll be done. Tio did a show on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up and see.
There's
I think
Tio.
I remember something about that. Temporary offline.
Yeah. That's exactly. I'm pretty sure I saw 2 online, and I was like, that's. I mean, you can't go wrong for the price. I've even looked up. There's a 50-watt amp on eBay that's like $20. Of course, it doesn't have a low pass filter, but I mean, $20 for a 50-watt amp for a QRP rig. I mean, even if it is bad, it's an exercise in soldering and having fun on the bench. And then you can buy a cheap low pass filter, run it through a low pass filter, and you got a 50-watt amp for your QRP rig. And it's a fun project that you can do on your time off. Mind you that you do have time off to build it, and it's all practice. And I know people who can't even solder a PL259. So if you cannot solder a PL259 on a piece of coax, don't order the kit, because you won't be able to do this kit. But if you can, give it a whirl. It's practice. If you screw it up, order another one. You'll have extra parts.
There you go.
I mean, it's fun. It's like the QRP digital. Some can build it, some can't.
Oh, shots fired! Shots fired! Oh.
I built it. It just doesn't work. That's not my fault.
You know, they say if you build it, they will
Uh.
come. And they did. They didn't come so bad.
All right, so if anybody's interested, here's the link for Tio's video on the ATU 100.
They're like I said, it's a fun little project for give yourself a little stuffing stalker. You can't go wrong. And if you order by now, you might get it before March from China. So there you go.
You know, well, no, that link that I put up, those come by the 17th of this month.
Oh yeah, Amazon.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. Stuff like this, I just order off of eBay.
AliExpress, you do get a little cheaper, but if you're wanting,
it takes forever, and it comes from a slow boat. It comes on a slow boat from China. True. And because I am in the middle of the Atlantic, it takes the slowest boat they can find. I'm telling you, it comes on a rowboat with a one-armed man.
I would love to do some projects and stuff like that. I don't have the time.
No, you need to be out there doing your parks, King.
Right.
That's what you're the king. Have one of your subjects build it.
Yeah. Now, if any of my subjects would like to build me one,
hey, Christmas is coming.
Yeah, we actually got to do the Patreon Christmas drawing this week. But
I know what everybody's getting now.
We'll talk about that. There you go. If anybody is getting me an ATU tuner for Christmas, make sure and build it for me. Pat, you're not allowed to get my name, Pat. I want it to work.
Pew pew pew.
What do you got queued up down there, Pat?
Oh, this is what I was talking about for a radio widener. I just designed it now. I mean, it's kind of rough, but you could do each individual wire and spools like this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of, but a little bit wider and a little bit thinner, and maybe the grooves deeper, so that you could just throw it out like a frisbee, like James was saying Curtis did.
Yeah, it's just a rough design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the wider and deeper, but you know what? You could actually put a little through the center of it, like a handle, and you could just walk out with it, and they didn't mind.
Slap something like this on top. Something like that.
I love Thingiverse.
Yeah, just like that.
Put one on each side, and then you can just wind it.
Right, one on each side.
Offset, yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know what? If you put one on each side, that's
offset so you can roll it. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
and then you can roll. Yeah, but make it wider. Yeah, I would say.
That's fine.
Well, we can't all throw frisbees. He can make two versions. One for Hayden, one for the rest of us.
There you go.
I don't think that one on each side would print well because then it would be standing on that handle. You'd have to put.
Well, you could do it at an angle. Like, you could do it like this.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Let me get back to this. That's what I was giggling about first.
He likes them tuna cans.
And then Joe Brett wants to know if you're going to a park after the show. Of course he is.
Actually, I'm not. I'm not going to a park after the show, Joe Brett. I am done for the day. I've been out for the last 3 days in the rain, and I'm getting sick again, and I'm just staying in tonight. So, actually, I'm not.
Hey, and I'm going to work in a little bit, so.
Slacker.
I know. I only done 3 parks today. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no. I only did 1 park.
I tell you what. If anybody else has still activated a park every day this year, you feel free to send me criticisms. If not,
Yep,
That's like
damn
one
straight.
person, right?
Yeah, I
No,
haven't seen any
no,
updates.
Not
on that
even.
lately.
Not
it
even.
keeps it keeps multiplying.
Yeah.
They pop out of the woodwork.
Well,
Funny
no.
how that happened, huh?
A couple of the FT8ers magically found some logs and are back in it.
Oh,
Ah.
so the ones that
No,
had
but it has to be a two-way because they. Oh, okay, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot that day. Let me just whip up some whipped cream.
Yeah, I'm about to say one of them had a day where he had 3 contacts on his page. So if all of a sudden he has more, that'd be interesting.
My two favorite activators are magically still in it now.
Magically, some Hogwarts magic going on.
Mm,
Some David Blaine. No, but it's. I don't even want to.
I don't
I'm
even
gonna
want to
mumble
get.
to myself.
I don't even want to get started.
Nope. Nope.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
So,
It is what it is.
you went on a. Did you? So you talked to Jason. Did you mention the Bailey Sprott Award that he could make one or not? This was not even a
No,
conversation.
no, wasn't even in a conversation.
I can't believe they will. I'm sure they will come out with a Bailey Sprott Award because why
yeah.
wouldn't they? If every month they'll talk about it's one of the things they talk about on the POTA whatchamacallit and not have an award for it. That irks me. It's like for us hunters and especially the activators. Don't get me wrong; those who do God's work. Uh, to not have a Bailey Sprott award on to put up on the wall because I think
Yeah, I mean,
again,
there's
and I'll say this again, for the activators it's much worse than the hunters, but I'll tell you what, as a hunter doing the Bailey Sprott, it's a chore. It is a
there should,
chore. And more so for the activators, and I've said this more than once.
there should be
Uh,
one for the activators and the hunters and the Mick activators even.
but and it'd be interesting because they could then do CW only Bailey Sprott Award, mixed Bailey Sprott Award, SSB only Bailey Sprott Award. It could be all kinds of 20-meter only mixed
Right,
band. I don't know. They can always find ways to increase it. But
right,
and then you
right,
could you
right,
could do a
right.
twofer, 2 years in a row Bailey Sprott, which I promise you I will not do.
Everybody asks me about next year. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
You play it by ear,
Make it
but
every other year.
it,
My POTA goals will be lighter next year than they were this year because
it is demanding, my friend.
like
Very demanding.
I literally this whole entire year I literally just gave up my whole entire life to POTA. Like
And
people
we
have
thank you
no
for
idea.
it. And we thank you for it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to stop. I'm still going to be probably the most active person in POTA. Besides maybe the McActivators. It's just here's the thing. I would do it again. I'd do it again. And I would raise the bar next year if they would get rid of people that can just magically whip up 18,000 contacts in a month FT8 when it's not even possible. You know,
Yeah. Amen to that,
I,
brother.
I can't just literally give up my life to do something and just let somebody else just scroll in and do nothing. You know, I, I bet you I've spent enough gas money this year to probably buy a home. So, you know, but I'll still be real active next year. I'm gonna do a lot more soda next year too as well.
I I honestly I won't do it again next year. If I can make it to December 31st on a POTA day for the Bailey Sprott, I'll be the first DX to do it. I'll be the first DX station to do it. bar Canada. Well, if you consider Canada DX, which, it is what it is.
Eh.
But I'll be the first outside the U.S. Real DX, I would say. I'm not saying Canadians
Yeah.
aren't DX, but I'll be the first one, and I'm done. I'll be done. I don't need the. It's not the aggravation. Don't get me wrong. It's the constant worry of it hasn't. I still don't have one today. It's still not my 100 log. Oh my God! I need to work another 15 to make sure it's on. It is though. It is worrying. And I'm sure for James as well. I need to go to the park. Okay, when do I have the time off to the park? And even if you're sick, James, for you it's 10 times worse because I'm still at home. Yeah, if I have a cold or if I have COVID, whatever sickness there is, the week sickness of the week that's going on, I can still
During
do it from home.
during the
You
Bailey's Prop Challenge this year, I have had COVID twice.
and you
Twice.
still went out.
And I still activated every
It's
day.
you broke COVID. You did illegal things. I'm kidding.
No,
So
no, no.
no, you were
I
by
was
yourself.
I was extremely socially distanced.
Yeah,
There wasn't
yeah. I'm
nobody
sure
near
you were.
me.
I'm sure. But what I'm saying is, you still had to go out there, and my hat's off to you, brother. Like you wouldn't believe. You are for without a doubt it's the reason you're the king. Period. And my hat's off to you and amazing work. But I still want my DX Bailey Sprott award, and then I'm done. I'm done. I want to take it lighter, do some more activations because one of the reasons I don't do activations is because I'm always worried about my hunting award and hunting. And if I go out and I don't get any park to park, it won't count for my hunting. And so I'm more, and I want to go out there and do more activations and not have to worry about the Bailey Sprott. That's just, I don't have to. I don't want to worry about it anymore. It is a chore. It is a chore.
Yep.
And I
I've
say,
never done one a day for anything. Well, except breathing. I've done that one a day
I
for a
say
few
my
years.
goals will be less next year, and you watch the last week of this year. I'll get a hair up in my butt, and then you'll see a video pop out. Next year's goals are, and everybody's like, I mean, trust me, I'm still going to be very active regardless. I'm still doing Delaware in a week. I moved that to next year because I'm not doing it in the winter. I'm just
I
not going
think
to do
you
Delaware.
you should do the 50 states next year. Every state.
But that's tough.
It is tough. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
I,
get
I'm good
the
on
get the.
I'm good on QRZ. Buy me a coffee, super chat.
That's what we need to do. We need to help James get
Donate some
his goals
miles.
for next
uh,
50 state rove. Not one day though.
I may need a DX10 for that too, guys. So
Now you're pushing. Now you're pushing. We'll get you the ATU 100. But you never know, brother. You never know.
We'll have to
Hey,
work on that. We'll have to look at some more of that Eagle One dipole I was talking about.
oh God, here we go again.
I'm saving
you
up
need
for
to
that.
get some
Letting you know.
sponsors. You need to get some extra sponsors on to help you with that. Not just your Patreon and the buy me a coffee and buy me a pizza. Maybe get some sponsors.
Hey, listen.
Start putting out feelers, man.
If you guys know anybody who wants to help me become a ham radio nomad, let me know.
Hey, did you see what Laughlin did? Kevin Laughlin. I don't remember what his call sign is, but he sold his house and bought an RV. Maybe that's what you need to do: sell the house and and buy an RV, and then you can do it. I'm kidding, of course.
I would rather be sponsored by Monster Energy than Red Bull.
Red Pepper. He needs Red Pepper to be his sponsor.
I don't know, man. Red Bull is kind of the master in marketing. Red Bull is a marketing company that happens to sell an energy drink.
True.
No one
You
markets
know,
better than Red Bull.
listen. If they want to pay me,
Raid Shadow Legends.
if they want to pay me to go to the 50 states and activate, I will drive one of the little Red Bull cars around. I know you've seen them.
Oh,
Yeah.
And turn the little can on top into an antenna. There you go.
It'll be that'll be the coil. That'll be the coil.
Coil for 220.
My first stop will be out in
2,200 meters.
my first stop will be out west to see Kevin. I'm like, Kevin, I need this can to antenna. Help me out.
Just turn to a giant coil so you can make contacts in 2,200 meters.
Okay. All right.
Start talking to submarines in the ocean.
It is 7 o'clock and it is time for Frank to have a stream. So let's have Frank have a stream. Mike, what you got coming up this week?
Just some more Bailey Sprout chore.
Back to the chore. I got you. Pat?
Nothing too crazy. I didn't really record much from this activation because I was busy helping people get on the air. So I'll have a video on Tuesday like I normally do.
Hayden?
Well, other than being on Wednesday night's live stream on your channel, do some more hunting when I can, and got some rearranging of the shack I gotta work on.
Roger that, roger that. And myself, I will be back activating tomorrow. Tonight, I will probably try to edit a few videos and get some of them out. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna put a feeler out and see if the Patreons want to have our monthly meeting right here shortly. But I doubt I get the response I need. If I do, we'll have that. If not, I may practice some CW because that goal is still on for this year and it will happen. I will do a CW activation this year. So, all right, we're going to shut her down, guys. Everybody go enjoy Frank's stream, and we will catch you guys next time on the Ham Radio Campfire.